So, I'm also concerned that we are signing up to transport projects which really are the domain of the government. And I'm thinking Mill Road, it's really a state highway. Whole of Amity is really a state highway, and all of East West Link is a state highway. And we are chipping into all of those to the tune of $1 billion plus over 10 plus years. They should be off our books and with the government. That's another way to maybe make savings as we look at our annual plan and make our decisions on the year ahead. I'm prepared to go into that territory. I was one of the 6, and many councillors have actually been speaking on my behalf. Thank you. It would have been nice for you to speak to me before you spoke on my behalf. Thanks to Councillor Cooper and the Deputy Mayor, who did ask questions of me directly, constructively, of what my question was in signing that letter to the Mayor. And thank you for the meeting. It was initially delayed, that meeting, and not through your part, but members couldn't get to that initial meeting. We had the discussion, and you committed at that meeting to a review, investigating review, and within a few days later we heard that you would undertake, you would instruct, and we've now all bought in to that independent review. That was committed to. It was committed to at the meeting for the Mayor to investigate. He came back within a week. That is the truth. So, thank you to those that could have asked me but didn't ask me, and that is your answer. I would have liked to have seen that independent review come in a lot earlier. It was not possible. I would like to see that ITL adjusted, taking into account maybe some better numbers in rail that are possible, but it's just not possible. But we are embarking on that work. Members, we have gone up and down the aisles picking things for this budget. Every one of us has picked something and put it into the trolley, and guess what? It's time to check out. You can't go past the checkout without confirming your budget. And that's what we need to do now. It's uncomfortable territory. It's challenging us all. It'll challenge Auckland. It'll be a much bigger challenge, particularly in the transport space, if we walk away and just become the oppositional politicians to everything.
Thank you. Councillor Cowell.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Your Worship. And I wasn't going to say much. Oh, well, I'll say little today. I was thinking about it as I was driving on the motorway this morning into town. But I just want to start off by saying that as I drove into my 100% ratepayer funded car park at 135 Albert Street this morning, I was doing a fair bit of thinking, and but no one's ever come to me and said to me, "Hey, do you want to contribute some money to that car park?" I'll be more than happy to.
Yeah. Exactly.
That aside, it's been an interesting process the last 12 months on this particular LTP, and I have been one of many councillors around this table that attended most of our workshops, all of our workshops and council meetings. I think there was about a week there that I was absent for the first time in 9.5 years on local government, and my wife insisted I took my young fella to school camp, and the first time I've ever done it. I have to say I enjoyed that more. That aside, I have to say that it's been an interesting 5 years in this council, and probably like my old business, I put 100% into it. And I was given those portfolios not by choice, but by you, Mr. Mayor. And I suppose because I was pretty lippy in the first term of the council with lack of service levels across the region. But I want to thank the guys that have been part of the process on the regulatory area in particular and bylaws process, because it's been a mammoth task over the last 12 months, 15 months, a mammoth task to go from 158 bylaws incorporating 7 different TLAs and sitting around about 20 plus bylaws now for the region. And I say 20 plus, which I think is really awesome. It just shows to the people of Auckland that we are listening to them. We are trying to keep it simple, black and white, not complicated, not too expensive, but make it manageable and workable. And we've got a wee way to go in regards to the workings of it. But I want to say thank you to those 11 councillors, give or take, that have really worked hard on those particular things, so that's what actually built our communities. That aside, our regulatory area, our planning, our resource and our building areas. we've come a long way in the last 15 months, well actually the last 5 years, but also in the last 15 months. And we've overcome a lot of challenges and hurdles delivering back to the people of Auckland. But we've got another mammoth task in front of us, and that's the computer system. A major piece of infrastructure that we've got to have right to deliver the outcomes that we want for the people of Auckland. Sadly, it comes at a price of about 500 million, give or take a few dollars. But if we don't put that in place, we can't deliver those efficiencies to the people of Auckland. People of Rodney and Franklin can't just walk into Manukau or the city and get the information they require on a particular property. And it makes it challenging, not just for us, but our staff, and more in particular, our ratepayers. But it comes at a price that we're going to have to bite the bullet at some stage around this table and spend it to do it. Did we ask for that? No, we didn't. Did we ask for the super city? No, we didn't. But we've got it, we've got to make the most of it, and we're going to make it work. Regards to this process today, there's been a lot said. Southern Councillor over there had a good speech. There's lots of stuff in this LTP that I don't like. If I had my way, 3/4 of that social stuff would come out and sits with central government, not with us. Central government. And so it goes on. We all around this table have bits and pieces we don't like. That's multi-millions of dollars. I get told all the time, stick to rates, roads and rubbish for our ratepayers. Only if we could. I get a phone call last night. How do we get $5,000 for this particular organisation in Papakura?
There you go.
How do I get $3,000 for this particular last week?
Yep.
So we give a budget to the local boards, and I hear around this table comments and challenges, and we all say it, about how that's spent, but that's the local board's prerogative. They're in their communities, and they spend it how they think is right by their communities. Maybe we should give them some more money, as I've heard a couple of councillors around this table say. And let them be responsible for that. I think that's a good thing. But I think that's in time we need to look at that. The transport levy is the biggest hurdle in this room today. Well, as I drove out of my 100% taxpayer-funded car park last night, at 4:30, ratepayers funded, sorry, at 4:30, it took me 1 hour 45 minutes to get to the Papakura interchange to go a meeting at 6 o'clock. 1 hour 45 minutes. At 4:30 last night. As I jump on the motorway this morning at 25 to 6, the queue was already at Ramarama. As I'm sure Mr Baker and my Southern Councillor Cashmore will tell you. The problem is here, guys. It's here now. How we deal with that? It's challenging. The government got to be right in there. We get these SHAs, as Councillor Darby just said. That's the other elephant in the room. The growth in Auckland has hit us at speeds we've never seen before. The Franklin district is going to see growth that it's never seen before in this country. But the saddest part is where does the dollars come to fund that? Well, who's going to fund that roading? Wastewater, reticulated water, stormwater. I keep saying around this room, 2,200 homes, $60 million project for the artillery drive pipeline for 2,200 homes. My previous CEO and myself pulled our hair out when it went from 3 million to 33 million. Well, the damn project's now 60 million. But it's on track. Why? Because of the amalgamation. It's happening. But people, we're here to make some hard calls. Sadly, some of us don't want to do those hard calls. I don't like inflicting things on people, and I think Councillor Arthur and I summed it up nicely. The $3, the $4 and the $5 a week. Let's hope the government step up sooner rather than later and give us some assistance for these SHAs that they're impounding on us and inflicting on us. Because I can tell you out in the south, I went to a community meeting last night, 45 people, and they are really worried on the growth. They ain't seen nothing yet. Grade separations, it's not even in their budgets. The 4 worst grade separations across the region, that's not even there. Estimated cost about 25 million for each one. The CRL, I never supported it. 2.5 years ago, I never supported it. Yeah, I come under fire a bit for a few people, but that's life. But I can understand reasons why the CRL is important to the people of Auckland. But at the same token, I continue to say around this table, and I have done for 5 years, and Council Wood can back me up, it's around safety, reliability, and cleanliness of those rail lines and trains. They've got to be safe, they've got to be clean, and they've got to be reliable. But we have a real elephant in the room again, where we have 3 different partners involved in this process. Not one like some countries have, 3 different partners. It makes it challenging. But I'm sure as we go forward, Mr. Mayor, we will overcome those challenges. Well, I hope so. We're not so fortunate as the North Shore, where we had the Northern Busway. But if we can recall going back a number of years ago, I think it was the Helen Clark government that pumped about $1 billion into Auckland, which contributed, would I be right, Mr. Wood, I'm sure, towards the Northern Busway. And I keep saying when I hear that MOTAC hand out free tickets, I always thought it was Auckland South that took those free tickets up, but it's not. Councillor Darby, it's your patch. Why? Because the PT, the buses are working effectively and efficiently from the Harbour Bridge over to MOTAC. Yep. So if we get a decent public system out the south, i.e. the trains, etc., and the interconnections between our buses going east and west, and getting our people in Mangere over to MIT, and those in Manarowa over to AUT and MIT and Papakura and Franklin, we'll be 100% better off, but it comes with a cost. A cost that we've all got to wear. So people, yep, I can be shot next year, I don't care, that's life, but you've got to make the hard calls. The hard call today is that we own it to the people of Auckland to make some hard calls. We've got to be trying to be prudent as we go forward. We don't all like what we see in the LTP, but we've been part of the process. I didn't think I was going to say much, Mr. Mayor. Sorry, because I thought we'd done it prior to the 7th and the 8th, but I think I needed to say something. And I'll just touch on finishing off one thing. The Mill Road. Councillor Darby, you mentioned the Mill Road. It's been a contentious one for a number of homes up on top of Redoubt Road. Real contentious. And in some parts, AT could have handled it better. Absolutely better. But it's a fundamental bit of infrastructure that's going to open up the south. I continue to hear from my residents in Manarowa, Papakura, that the big trucks that Councillor Cashmore goes on about coming out of Brookbed Quarry and Windstones and diving up the Great South Road and up through the back way to get on the motorway, that go through Claude Road, Hill Road, up through the gardens there, trashing our nice residential streets. We've got to do something about it. We've got to get those big trucks moving out of there. Again, it comes at a cost. My concerns though, people, is NZTA. They've got to step up.